prosecutors in New Mexico have decided to bring criminal charges against actor Alec Baldwin in the accidental shooting of a cinematographer on the set of the movie Rust back in 2021. Mary Carmack Altuiz, the district attorney in Santa Fe County, said today that Baldwin didn't have to touch each projectile. He didn't have to touch each piece of ammunition. But, she added, he had an absolute duty to know that what is in the gun that is being placed in his hand is safe. Oh, please. Baldwin is guilty of a lot of things, like a bad Trump impersonation, too many kids, little pompous. He's also guilty of producing a movie on the cheap that resulted in a non-union crew handing him a fully loaded pistol. But there is no way Alec Baldwin could check or would even know how to check to see if the gun was loaded, because Alec Baldwin is a Hollywood liberal from New York who doesn't know a handgun from a pastry gun. This is clearly a prosecutor trying to make a name for herself. Go get the real criminals. I'm David Feldman, and this is the Mop-Up. Go get the real criminals, like Kyle Rittenhouse, who shot 2 people to death with his AR-15 and gravely wounded another back in August of 2020 when he decided to self-deputize during a Black Lives Matter protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Rittenhouse was 17 at the time. Nobody asked him to walk the streets. He took it upon himself, and eventually a jury felt sorry for this uneducated 17-year-old dullard and acquitted him, agreeing that he, this moron, acted in self-defense. Self-defense. The 2 people he killed were not armed. This kid, Kyle Rittenhouse, is an ignoramus who shouldn't be allowed anywhere near a knife and fork, let alone an AR-15. But Alec Baldwin is going to go on trial for involuntary manslaughter and probably get convicted because he's a pretty outspoken liberal Democrat. But Kyle Rittenhouse walks free. The only thing Alec Baldwin is guilty of tonight is being the producer of a movie, Rust, that fired the union crew the night before the shooting, and they decided to work on the cheap. But involuntary manslaughter because a gun he was handed went off? Are you effing kidding me? Meanwhile, Kyle Rittenhouse is in the news because he's running around the country making a living doing speaking engagements. And some of those speaking engagements are getting canceled. What does this moron talk about? He talks about the woke mob that's trying to punish him. Someone has to punish you, Kyle. Our courts won't. You killed 2 people. And this woke mob that you speak of doesn't think you should be allowed to earn money doing speaking engagements, misrepresenting what happened. And the woke mob, including me, believe that whatever you earn should go to your victims' families. And so this week, some of Kyle Rittenhouse's speaking engagements were canceled. Here is Kyle Rittenhouse yesterday on Sebastian Gorka's radio show complaining about the woke mob that's trying to silence Kyle, not for what he said, but for what he did.
I was supposed to be giving a speech at Southern Pub Brewery with Defiance Press, and they booted us because the woke mob found out I posted about it. I tried to promote it to get people to come and hear about censorship and the Second Amendment, and they didn't like that. They bent to the woke mob, and they said, we're canceling this event. Thank goodness we were able to reschedule. It's now going to be at Lone Star Convention Center in Conroe, Texas, where you can come and watch me speak. But just recently, as of this morning, the Oak Room at the Ventian canceled us and bent to the woke mob saying we aren't going to host you guys anymore.
Did you hear that? The Oak Room at the Venetian canceled him? Did you hear that? Today, the Oak Room in the Venetian, the hotel in Las Vegas that's built to look like Venice, ergo, hence, and therefore, Kyle, it's called the Venetian. Notice the way this moron pronounces the Venetian.
Oak Room at the Vention.
The Oak Room at the Vention.
Oak Room at the Vention.
You stupid, illiterate, gun-toting moron. It's pronounced the Venetian.
Oak Room at the Vention.
You idiot.
Oak Room at the Vention.
How stupid can one person possibly be not to know it's pronounced Venetian? I would say that Kyle Rittenhouse is the dumbest person in America, but then I remembered there are Americans paying to hear him speak at the Veneton or the Venetian. People were lining up at the Oak Room at the Venetian or the Veneton to hear a man-child who thinks Venetian is pronounced Veneton. They're paying money to hear this moron speak, which means there are actually people who are dumber than Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oak Room at the Vention.